How's it going, everybody? So today what I have here is a leather. I thought I'd show you guys a couple tricks on fragging leathers, getting leathers to attach. So you can see here I've cut out the other edge. This one in particular is a green tyree. So I am going to make a couple more incisions. Basically, when you're fragging leathers, you just want something that's really sharp that'll make a clean cut. You don't want to tear any flesh. You want to try to make the cut as precise as possible. Most leathers will recover pretty quick. However, if you start tearing flesh, your chances of making a quicker recovery start to go down pretty quick. So basically I have a nice pair of sharp shears here. So to make a smaller frag, essentially, you just grab your leather, determine how big you want to make your frag. I'm going to cut this up into a few pieces and share it with some locals. I've had a few requests to get some of this particular toadstool because locally it hasn't been available. So I'm probably going to make around 2-inch pieces, and I'm going to show you how to get them onto a frag plug. It's nice and simple. However, some people struggle with it. Some people put it into a container with some rubble. I've tried that in the past. However, I find that the lack of flow, they tend to slime more and sometimes they'll just melt away. So I do prefer putting them on plugs, and I'll show you how I do that in a second. But to frag, just grab your piece here, make a nice clean cut. This one's a little bit thick for my shears, but I'm also in the middle of a ruffle here. But yeah, it's going to slime a little bit, but toadstools are very, very hardy. Most leathers are. They're not going to care too much, but you can see here. So you can see here I just cut that. It's a nice clean cut, didn't tear too much tissue at all. So now I'm going to put these on plugs and I'll be back with you to show you how I like to do it. Alright, we're back, everybody. So what I was saying before I paused the video is, I like to, these little frag plugs that I have here have this little hole. You could do this with anything you want, rock rubble. I just like these frags because they come pre-drilled with a little hole. So I've poked through a little piece of fishing line, and I'm going to make a knot in it. Essentially I'm going to put a few dabs of glue on top of the plug. That's going to hold the toadstool long enough for me to get the fishing line and keep it fairly secure. But the toadstool, if you were to just go with glue, it would come loose. So the glue essentially just keeps it there until I could get the fishing line on, and as it starts to want to attach and move, the fishing line is going to keep it secure onto the frag plug. So I'm going to show you essentially how it came out. So I put a couple of dabs of glue at the bottom. This is on the frag plug. It's just snug onto the toadstool just so it can't slip away. I did put a little dab of glue where my knot is, just so the fishing line doesn't come undone while it's healing and attaching to the frag plug. And that's basically all there is to fragging leathers, guys. Like, it's super simple. It only gets a little bit tricky when you have a skeletal structure, because you do have to make pretty precise cuts. If you go at it with a pair of shears, sometimes that'll be okay, but sometimes you'll crack the skeleton in two and you could risk the coral that you're fragging. So in those cases I like to use a bandsaw for that precise cut. But leathers, really, you just make an incision, get a nice pair of blades that are nice and sharp, and just cut away, make nice size frags, and a couple local hobbyists are going to enjoy these. And just a couple quick tips for fragging leather, guys. So if you found this useful, subscribe, and I'll come out with a couple other tips, because I definitely have a couple colonies that need more fragging.